Jensen Huang gave the world a five-layer cake: energy, chips, infrastructure, models, applications. It's a clean way to teach how an AI system actually runs. But as a map of where the money goes, in 2026, it's one war behind. Because two more layers have appeared above the applications, and those two layers are where most of the real economy actually lives. By the end of this video, you'll have the full 7-layer map, the pattern that predicts which industries get rebuilt next, and the one question every investor and founder should be asking instead of which layer wins. Let's build it from the ground up. So why 7 and not 5? The 5-layer technical stack is correct as a description of how an AI workload runs. It's incomplete as a description of how AI becomes a business. Two things happen above the application layer that the 5-layer model just can't account for, and both are where the durable value sits. First, AI adoption is bottlenecked on trust, evaluation, and operator capacity, not on technology. Buyers don't consume foundation models directly. They consume the verdicts of analysts, the scores of benchmarks, the case studies in the media, and the experience of operators who've done it before. That decision layer has always existed in mature industries. What's new is that for AI, it doesn't have an incumbent yet. That's layer 6. Second, the most valuable AI companies of the next decade won't be model providers or app vendors. There'll be entire industries rebuilt from the ground up, with AI assumed at every tier the General Motors to Tesla move, applied to legal, healthcare, retail, banking, insurance, and manufacturing. That's layer 7. Together, these two layers are what turn the 5 technical layers underneath into actual industry revenue. Without them, the stack stops at a platform with 1 billion users. With them, the stack reaches GDP. Here's the whole map. Read it bottom up. Each layer consumes the output of the one beneath it and feeds the one above. Layer 1, energy, power generation, the grid, cooling, nuclear, renewables. AI runs on electricity, and AI is now one of the largest electricity consumers in modern history. This is the raw fuel. Layer 2, silicon, GPUs, accelerators, high-bandwidth memory, networking chips. The GPU is to AI what the turbine was to the Industrial Revolution, and capacity is now a national security asset governed by export controls and multi-year contracts. Layer 3, infrastructure, cloud platforms, data centers, networking, storage, orchestration. These are the AI factories where compute becomes usable. Layer 4, the models, foundation, reasoning, and multimodal systems plus autonomous agents. This is cognition where compute becomes usable intelligence. Layer 5, applications. The workflow surface vertical and horizontal apps where AI capability finally converts into revenue and automation. This is where business value gets captured. And then the two new layers. Layer 6, industry go-to-market, the decision and adoption layer. And Layer 7, AI native industries, the disruptor layer. Value originates at the bottom, in energy. It accrues at the top, in the industries that AI rebuilds, one direction of flow. Let's start at the top, because it's the most misunderstood. Layer 7 is not a layer of software, it's a layer of industries. Picture 2 hospitals. The first one adopts AI scribes to speed up its existing operation. That's an incumbent doing efficiency work. The second hospital is designed from day one around AI-native clinical operations, AI-native billing, AI-native scheduling, AI-native intake. That second hospital is a different category of business, different cost curve, different competitive position. Its unit economics only make sense in a world where AI is the default labor force. That's what Layer 7 names. Not incumbents bolting AI on, but new entrants who assumed AI at every tier. And the investment question here isn't which AI native company wins in legal. It's which industries get rebuilt first and which ones are protected by regulation or capital intensity long enough to be safe. Hold that thought, because the timing is the hard part, and we'll sequence it in a minute. Now, Layer 7 isn't a forecast. It's pattern recognition applied across the last 3 foundational technology waves. Each one produced a disruptor that didn't improve on the incumbent. It rebuilt the category from the ground up. Wave 1, the internet. Blockbuster gave way to Netflix. Sears and Barnes & Noble gave way to Amazon. Encyclopedia Britannica gave way to Wikipedia and Google. The winners didn't build a better rental store, they rebuilt the category around digital distribution. Wave 2, mobile and cloud. The yellow cab gave way to Uber. Hilton and Marriott gave way to Airbnb. The High Street Bank gave way to Revolut, Nubank, and Chime. Kodak gave way to the iPhone and Instagram. And even General Motors, capital-heavy, century-old, gave way to Tesla. The lesson: even capital-heavy verticals get rebuilt when the new layer is foundational. But the speed varies. Tesla took 20 years, Uber took 5, Instagram took 2, and Wave 3, AI, happening right now. Big Law is meeting Harvey and AI-native legal services. Hospital admin and billing are meeting AI-native clinical operations. CPG incumbents are meeting AI-native brands and agentic commerce. Legacy underwriters are meeting AI-native risk pricing. Same pattern every time. The disruptor was never a better version of the incumbent. It was the category rebuilt from the ground up, with the new technology assumed at every layer. Now back down to layer 6, the one most people miss entirely. This is the layer between the technology and the industry it serves, where buying decisions actually get made. In every mature industry, it has a name. In software, it's Gartner, Forrester, IDC. In finance, it's the rating agencies and the sell-side analysts. In pharma, it's the journals, the conferences, the key opinion leader network. The decision layer is older than the industries that consume it. But for AI, it doesn't have an incumbent yet, and the venue where it forms is itself being rebuilt. It has 4 parts, and they have to work together. Analyst and research independent verdicts on what works. Media and events where category narratives form. Benchmarks and reviews defensible, comparable evaluations. And operator networks, the practitioners who've done it before, available as talent. Here's the uncomfortable part for anyone who treats go-to-market as a cost center. The decision layer compounds faster than the application layer it routes buyers toward. Gartner doesn't build a single piece of software, yet its Magic Quadrant verdicts move billions in enterprise IT spending. Bloomberg's revenue tops that of any single exchange whose trades generate the data it resells. The decision layer captures value because it captures decision rights, and at scale, decision rights are worth more than any single product. Whoever owns industry go-to-market for AI owns the substrate of how the economy decides what to buy, build, and back. So when does Layer 7 actually happen? It's not one event, it's a distribution. And the speed is governed by 2 variables, regulatory drag and capital intensity. Year 1 to 3, the venture window. Legal, accounting, marketing services, healthcare admin, slices of consulting. Low regulation, high information asymmetry, fat margins. The first wave is already in motion. Year 3 to 5, retail and consumer brands, software-shaped manufacturing. Digital channels already exist, and AI-native brands win on speed and unit economics. Year 5 to 10, the strategic acquisition zone. Insurance, asset management, parts of manufacturing, heavier regulation, but the work is quantitative and structurally suited to AI, and incumbents start buying their way back in. And year 10 and beyond, the policy window. Hospital systems, retail banks, major utilities, 30-year capital cycles, regulators, payer contracts. Here, disruption arrives through partial replacements and policy openings, not greenfield entrants. Each window has a different optimal investor. Match your capital to the horizon. So here's the bottom line. The 7-layer stack isn't a description of where the AI economy is. It's a description of where it's going. The 5 technical layers are mostly priced. The market has already re-rated NVIDIA, the hyperscalers, and the model labs. But the decision layer, layer 6, is currently unowned at industry scale, and it compounds faster than the apps beneath it. And the disruption layer, layer 7, is where the largest companies of the next decade will be built, not as AI products, but as AI-native industries. Layer 6 is where this cycle's Gartner gets built. Layer 7 is where this cycle's Tesla gets built. The mistake most investors are making in 2026 is treating AI as a 5-layer technical stack and underweighting the 2 layers where the real transformation happens. The mistake most operators are making is building horizontal AI products and waiting for industries to adopt them instead of building inside an industry and assuming AI at every tier. The framework is free. The execution is where it counts. If this reframed how you see the AI economy, the full briefing and the boardroom deck are linked below. They're free. Subscribe for a new strategy briefing every Friday, and I'll see you in the next one.